With millions of YouTube channels, lovers of the weird, wacky, and what the choose Talks-A-Lot Entertainment. This is Dix News U.S. Hello and welcome to Dix News U.S. That's right, America. Yep. We've got a fun-ass show tonight. It's going to be interesting as hell. Let's say hi to the chat. We've got Vince Womack over on the YouTube side. Hail, sir. He says greetings and salutations again. Again? Well, that's because over on the Rumble side, we've got Vince Womack saying greetings and salutations. That's right. We are live on both YouTube and Rumble, so if you're on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. If you're on Rumble, make sure you're following. And of course, hit that thumbs up regardless of where you are, because what we do is fun indeed. And Vince Womack says, is it considered stereo if one hails on two channels? Sure, we could do that. Absolutely. And hail to the snail. The snail messiah appears. Oh, hi. Hope you're doing well, Mr. Snail Messiah. Yes, indeed. I hope you're all doing well tonight. I really do. Hail to John Edgar. Hello, my friend. Who says hail, Corey? Hail. Hail to thee, sir. For those about to rock. Yes. Yes, indeed. And of course, here's both chats. I love the fact that they integrated StreamYards into, Rumble into StreamYard, because then, I can just I can highlight things from both channels, from both sides. It's great. Fantastic. Snail Messiah says, I'm snailing. I turned 47 this Saturday. Well, happy belated birthday to you, sir. I do hope it was a wonderful time. 47. Goes by fast, doesn't it? It's kind of crazy. But yeah, you know what else is crazy? How far we've come with AI videos. So I'm sure some of you have seen this, but this is AI video from a year ago. I did not take this from TikTok. This was on Reddit. You can find this in a million different subreddits, so just go check them out. Anyway, this is AI video from a year ago compared to what we got today. All right, this is some fucking nightmare fuel looking shit right here. Like, holy crap. I thought Will Smith was already kind of yeesh, and now this is Sora. Hail to Radioactive. Pleasure to see you. So this is I think it's called Sora. It's been shoved in my face enough. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But this is also an AI video as compared to, this. We now have this. All right. And this, of course, all of these videos were fully generated by AI. Between last year and this year, the sheer abilities that AI possesses is astounding. John Edgar says, nightmare fuel. It really is. Yeah, dude, that Will Smith in general is a nightmare fuel. You know what I mean? And then, of course, we have their proof of concept, their original thing of an astronaut wearing a knit hat. And, honestly, there's not a lot wrong with a lot of these videos. All right. They're becoming almost perfect. Hail to Joe's Atmosphere. He says, what up, young man? Just getting ready to talk about AI and the call for regulation thereon. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff we're going through. Because in a year, we went from the nightmare fuel nonsense of Will Smith eating spaghetti to what we're seeing come out of Sora and various other programs that are proving to be mind blowing in many ways. Vince Womack says, "Space is cold, got to keep warm." That's right. That's right. John Edgar says, "Ha, was the astronaut about to board the Jupiter 2? Respect if anyone recognizes the reference. I do not. I do not recognize the reference, but I'm not super hip on space traveling vehicles. Just saying. Is it the Lost in Space? Is that? Yeah, it must have been Lost in Space. Too late. Yeah. See, I've I've seen it. I do, but I did not make that connection. Just saying. I'm kind of an airhead, and that's really the only defense I have for that at any point. Anywho, so we saw how far they've come in just a year, and we've also seen recently the use of AI in other uh, generative capacities, create voices, create um, videos, pictures, and various things of celebrities and such, and other regular people, if you will, that are incredibly convincing. There was the robocall going out that was an AI generated voice of Joe Biden telling people not to vote in New Hampshire, I think it was. And like, that's some scary shit. Like, you shouldn't do that. I don't care if you like Biden or not, or if you're uh I don't really care. It's in my personal opinion, I don't think it's really cool for anyone to impersonate the president of the United States in such a capacity. If it's on Saturday Night Live and someone's just riffing on them, that's one thing. But if you're actually going out and convincing people that you are said individual and you are telling them to do things that are against the law, or you're by telling them to not do something, you are violating the law in certain cases because election tampering is a problem. But yeah, I'm getting distracted by the chat because we're talking what Lost in Space now. So watch the original series when he was growing up. Good on you, Vince Womack. I've seen a couple episodes of the original series. John Edgar says, side note, the Netflix reinterpretation of Lost in Space is straight up ass. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. And I agree, it's dangerous, dangerously misused during elections. Ah, see, and you see, he says, "Sorry, I derailed the chat," but he also got us back on track with it. You're correct. It is. I don't care what side is coming from. Excuse me. Um, you shouldn't do this. It should, in my personal humble opinion, be against the law to utilize tactics like this because that's like generating fake evidence before a jury and using it to convict someone of a triple homicide and when the death sentence is on the table. Like this is some dangerous shit. And that's why many people now are starting to call for regulations on said dangerous shit. Now, of course, there's the Taylor Swift AI porn stuff that came out. Um, this will not end with elections. Probably not. But, uh, you know, there's also been like people using AI to recreate famous music or create new music from famous dead people, et cetera, et cetera. And honestly, that's distasteful in my personal opinion. But now that it's actually started affecting all of these butt plugs that call themselves elite, um, they're finally starting to see the downside to it. And as my wife said earlier, where did you think AI was going to go? Let's be real. Uh, John Edgar says the ability to use AI to fake someone's voice, inflections, etc. in a sample phone call terrifies me. Indeed, it is very, very scary that they can do that. One man show says greetings and salutations. Really starting to hate my buffering issue with YouTube. Yeah, I totally get that. I do. I have a lot of issues with both my internet and YouTube as an application and as a website, but what can you do at this point, right? But, this is also scary, the use to mimic someone's voice, because then you know all those fake confessions they used to have to beat out of people? Yeah, now they can just make them. They can just create them. The months of investigating is actually them taking voice samples from, like, your voicemail and, like, online videos and various things like that so that they can build a voice model, and then they can make you confess to a triple homicide and have video doing it. It's just, kinda scary. But anyway, it says experts and public figures sign a letter for AI deepfake regulation. Uh, John Edgar says, "That's right, you can fake someone's confession." Oh my god, that is freaking scary. Yes, it is. One man show over on the Rumble side says, "I can switch over to Rumble for my live stream viewing." What? That's what. That's fair. That's fair. And yes, Joe's Atmosphere points out, just like the Running Man. It's amazing how many real life situations are being inspired by old media. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. So here's the facts, as they like to say. Over 300 people, including artificial intelligence, technology, digital ethics, and child safety experts, as well as celebrities and academics, have signed an open letter calling on governments to regulate AI deepfakes. No shit. Deepfakes are AI generated content that fabricates human voices, images, and videos to the extent that the average person wouldn't reasonably be able to tell if it was real or fake. Hmm. Vince Womack says the guy from Pirate Software literally went to his bank and told them that all of his transaction have to take place in person because his voice is out there and easily sampled. This is true. That's fair. That is fair. The letter, whose signatories include AI pioneer Yoshua Benglo. Is that an I? That's an I. Bengio. And Bengio was his name. Oh, Harvard psychology professor Steven Pinkerton, perhaps? Pinky Man. Two former Estonian presidents, which they did not list the names of because I wouldn't have been able to say them anyway, and Google researchers, includes calls for criminalizing deep fake child prawn and mandating that AI firms prevent its creation. That part I can get behind. But I am surprised to hear that the elite are asking for this because they seem to be a fan of it anyway, especially in Minecraft, I suppose you should say. Um, the letter also demands criminal punishment for anyone wittingly facilitating the spread of dangerous deepfakes. The lead author, UC Berkeley AI researcher Andrew Critch, that sounds like a villain name from an old movie. I don't know. Called deepfakes a huge threat to human society, with others claiming 98% of deepfake victims are female. I would cite, for example, in this case, there was a bunch of high schoolers somewhere, don't remember where, that were using AI to deep fake nude photos of their female classmates and then spread them in a cloud sharing thing with the other boys at the high school. And of course, this led to a lot of bad things. And they're coming for your fucking kids, and your kids are the perpetrators at times. And that's where we have to realize where these things are going to really get fucking crazy is the fact that kids already have open access and use of these things without the moral or ethical understanding of how to use them. This is a problem. It really is because it not only violates perceived possible um Obviously, there's privacy issues, but then there's also the violation of personal rights that happen during these kinds of things. One man's show says, "Yeah, Netflix's LOS remake was crap." Uh, yeah, that's that's good to know. Anyway, John Edgar says, "God, that's awful, and there's no putting this genie back in the bottle either. No, there's not." And I think within reason, AI is a good thing within reasonable use parameters, I guess you could say. Um, but when you're getting into deep fakes and then allowing children access to this kind of stuff so that they can deep fake, you start getting into a lot of gray area stuff. And the last thing you need is a sociopathic teenager having the ability to deep fake his or her own abuse in order to jam up their parents or blackmail somebody or something like that, because let's be honest, it's in the realm of possibility. Anything that can happen will happen. That means someone is being blackmailed using AI based uh, deep fakes, or soon will be. And not only is blackmail a crime, but let's be honest, you're not allowed to film someone without their permission. Then you probably shouldn't be allowed to create AI deepfakes. Just saying. Amber Turd wished she had access to AI. You're not wrong. It would have made her both prettier and better at her job. Ugh. But anyway, part of the solution, according to the letter, would be for technology and media companies to build tools for authenticating imagery, such as digital seals with cryptographic signatures. Okay. This follows several recent high profile deepfake scandals, including a deepfake of President Buttfuck in where the fuck that is, to lay down their weapons, um, as well as videos of both US Presidents Donald Trump and Barack Obama. Yes, indeed. Um, Radioactive says, "We have seen the dropping of the first AI atomic bomb. Behold AI Shiva, the destroyer of worlds, both big and small." Yes, indeed. John Edgar says, "Like every arms race, I wonder if there will be a way to check a deepfake video or audio file to vet it. Um, Eventually, it will be too good to tell, honestly." He says, "Oh, that's Zelensky in Ukraine." Yeah, President Buttfuck. I don't trust any of them. I'll call them all that. Biden is definitely a President Buttfuck. Ugh. But anyway, so here's the spin, and this is where this website loses some points for me, just a little bit. Um, so narrative A. There are many dangers emerging as a result of AI deepfakes, the most prominent being sexually explicit content, which grew by 400% from 2022 to 2023. Not only this, but malicious actors are also using this technology to create fake videos of politicians and artificially sway political opinions across the world. The world's leading AI experts, from independent academics to tech executives developing AI, are right in sounding the alarm on the incoming threats we face if governments don't to take measures to strongly regulate deepfakes. Yes, yes, indeed. um, I do agree with narrative A that this is a problem. Um, I don't even really have anything to add to that. That's a fair point. There is a lot of dangers coming from it. And we also have a study here that speaks to what they were saying, in the fact that AI generated propaganda is just as persuasive as the real thing, a worrying study finds. And of course, oh, and there it goes. It disappears. Cancel, click this, reload. Thank you. Oh my gosh, 404. You see, the problem with trying to look at worrying studies about AI generated propaganda is sometimes when you find one, they don't want you to see it. It's kind of crazy, huh? But anyway, Narrative B says, while there are deepfakes that should absolutely be banned, especially pornography, this technology isn't only used for nefarious purposes, and any infringement on free speech must be carefully avoided. For instance, deepfakes provide a promising new tool for a line of satirical techniques that had been used throughout history to maintain a balance of power between the rulers and those they rule. Regulation should be judiciously and carefully curated to prevent the dark aspects of deepfakes while also allowing people to critique and even mock the powers that be. This is true. The regulation that I would suggest in a case of something like satire is that you have to do a basic disclaimer. You know what I mean? John Edgar says, I suppose as soon as someone like Hunter Biden or Hillary Clinton gets savagely deepfaked, big tech will tackle this in full force. Indeed. Once upon a time, or I mean, one man show once upon a time. He says, I thought Vice shut down its online presence. That might be why I'm getting a 404, but I'm just saying, why is it there in the first place? Vince Womack says, post the link. Okay. I gotta bring it back up. And, it says that they, they might have gotten rid of it, but for some reason, this was published fairly recently, I believe. Why did I just do that? That's not at all what I meant to do. Here you go. Click. Yep. When was that published? February 21st, 2024 is when they published this particular uh study. Yeah. This study, you know. Damn it. Cancel. Click on that. F5. Gosh. See, I don't understand though. But anyway, so regulation in this would primarily be focused upon allowing people to use the images of celebrities and stuff, but making sure that they're aware that they are fake. They are AI deepfakes. Um, Another way that you could regulate that is to regulate the brain fart quality levels that you can actually go to with AI. And of course, people won't go for that because they want highest quality possible. But I'm just saying, um, let's get further into this then, shall we? What the fuck? That was not the whole story like 10 minutes ago. Hmm. Look, Davos elite worry about deep fakes and disinformation. Nerd narrative. But there's a 4% chance that the US will restrict deepfake technology use to approved applications before 2025. Hmm. I swear there was more to this. But anyway, so they're saying it needs to be regulated, but it needs to be carefully done. Carefully so, carefully so. He's got a web archive over here. Let's hmm webarchive.org. All right, let's take a look at this then. Now that we thank you, Vince Womack. Just saying. This is the Wayback Machine, by the way. We're going to increase the fuck out of this just so we can scroll down and take a look. So, researchers have found that AI generated propaganda is just as effective as propaganda written by humans, and with a bit of tweaking, can be even more persuasive. Now, imagine that level of propaganda being mixed with an AI deepfake video. Okay. And this is AI writing the propaganda. This is not AI, you know, like, anyway, I've never used Wayback. Is that what this is? Pretty sure this is Wayback. Anyway, um, the worrying finding comes as nation states are testing AI's usefulness in hacking campaigns and influence operations. Last week, OpenAI and Microsoft jointly announced that the governments of China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea were using their AI tools for malicious cyber activities. Hmm. He says, yes, it is the way back. All right, good to know. Uh, John Edgar says, imagine some damn sociopath using AI to fake a phone call or what have you to some poor person with tragic news or something. Yeah, yep. Imagine how much worse swatting would be if they had your voice saying you're going to do these things. You know what I mean? Anyway, this includes translation, coding, research, and generating text for phishing attacks, AI generated phishing, and malware. Hmm. Uh, the issue is especially pressing with the upcoming US presidential election just months away. Indeed. The study published this week in the peer reviewed journal PNAS Nexus, excuse me, by researchers from the Georgetown University and Stanford used OpenAI's GPT-3 model, which is less capable than the latest model, GPT-4, to generate propaganda news articles. The AI was prompted with examples of real examples originating from Russia and Iran, which were identified by journalists and researchers. The topics covered six main propaganda theses, such as the conspiracy that the U.S. created fake reports that said Syria's government used chemical weapons, another that Saudi Arabia had committed funding to the U.S. Mexico border wall. The researchers did not exclude any of GPT-3's propaganda outputs, except if they were either too short or too long. Hmm. Who heard penis? About what? I don't remember saying penis. Oh, penis. Penis nexus. It's the penis nexus, dude. Gosh, get it right. Anyway, next, the researchers polled 8,221 US adults about whether they agreed with the thesis statement of the original human authored propaganda piece. Without reading the articles first, only 24% of respondents agreed. That jumped to 47% after they read the articles. Okay, so that's human generated propaganda increases overall agreeing stances boop, boop, from 24 to 47%. That's almost doubling the amount of people that agree based on propaganda just on the headlines, right? Uh, the study the study participants read AI generated propaganda about the same topic. They were roughly equally persuaded. 43.5% of the respondents who read GPT-3 generated article agreed or strongly agreed with the thesis statement as compared to 24.4% of the control. Wow. Again, a 19.1% increase. Wow. This suggests that propagandists could use GPT-3 to generate persuasive articles with minimal human effort by using existing articles on unrelated topics to guide GPT-3 about the style and length of the news articles. Let's think about that, okay? So, and stay with me here. We have computers generating propaganda that more humans believe than human based propaganda. That one tells us that these computers have a somewhat better understanding of the human mind than the people that are in charge of this. And, 2, we can teach these AI models to get better, and we have been. It is literally a job to train an AI. You can get paid to do that, by the way. Just go ahead and look for it if you really want to do that. But you can train them to do anything. Voice actors are training them to take their jobs in the industry. Um, Writers are training them to take over their ability to create original works. Musicians are training them so that the musicians can literally just be lazy ass fucks and not have to do anything, but still win Grammys and stuff for stuff they didn't actually do themselves, you know? Ah, yes, anything. Just ask Google. 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 Yes, indeed. And as a psychologist, I could tell you this is a huge no shit moment. And I personally think that it should not only be tightly regulated so that you cannot use AI to generate propaganda, but it shouldn't be punishable under criminal acts of, in my opinion, either election interference or even up to treason in some cases. Just saying. In the realm of art and creativity, surely an AI can never truly replicate human creativity and intuition. I hope. I agree, John Edgar, but I don't know. With how creatively bankrupt a lot of the mainstream is, it's just a matter of time before, I mean, AI already uses copyrighted material and existing stuff to generate what it does. So it's technically already ripping off stuff. And that's just the way Hollywood works anyway. That's why it would be a perfect replacement for Hollywood writers, is because it'll easier and more quickly rip off the works. You know what I mean? Vince Womack says English King eating watermelon prompt is my favorite so far. Okay. I take it that's a Google thing. English king eating watermelon. What? Okay, so I just out of randomness, I didn't think about going into the AI or anything, but I just Googled English king eating watermelon. And the weird part about this is it didn't come up with anything really impactful. That's not what I meant to do at all. Let's reset that. Oh my gosh. But okay, why is this here? English king eating watermelon cause of death. Death of King Charles II. Mercury poisoning is weakened based on dubious supposition. Bleh. Whatever words. He says, look for images. I don't really feel like it. How about you look for images and then post screenshots in the Toxel at Town Square Gilded? You can put it in the meme section. Because if it's funny, then go for it. But anyway, and if you're not a member of the Toxel at Town Square Gilded, you can join right now if you're in the live chat by clicking this link. Yeah, it's all the way at the top. It's crazy. Goodness gracious. Hide current comment. So I personally think AI is going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. All right, let's be honest. It's already taking over a lot of areas of industry that um, most of us probably saw coming. You know, art world. It's taking over voice acting. It's taking over video creation. You know, all this stuff that computers can do. But now we're faced with the reality of whether or not AI should be regulated and to what extent. Hail to toxic man flu. Now, just to make my position on this perfectly clear, I do think that AI, like any type of media in modern day society, should be regulated. I do agree that it should be regulated to the point that it is illegal to generate AI pornography of living individuals and especially thereof children, because that's a no no. It's a no no. Christian Delorme has some strong feelings about them and a wood chipper, but that's in Minecraft, YouTube. But you see, I do believe that AI should be regulated so that criminal activity can't be perpetrated by individuals using AI. This criminal activity should also extend to its use by the government. Um, well, now we're going to take a second because homeboy Vince Womack posted some screenshots. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah. Wow. 17th century British king eating a watermelon. Open original. Put this over here, and then we can zoom in. Damn. This is from Gemini. Hail to E. Clay Thomas. Thomas. Thomason. I don't know why I couldn't say that. It's ridiculous. Wow. Leave it to Vince to show us some pretty crazy shit. I've never seen that before, but that is fucking hilarious. John Edgar says, damn, fuck you, Google. For real. One man show says you can want that kind of regulation all you want, but it's too useful for the politicians. You, sir, are 100% correct. Thomason. A lot of people can't say my name right. Thomason, E. Clay Thomason. I I've said it many a times before, but my brain was like, "Fuck you, man. We're gonna go full retard on this one." Um, and I think One Man Show is correct. Honestly, it's too useful for the politicians, and that's where that's where things really get absolutely shitty because reality kicks in. And the reality of it is when something is this useful, because you don't need useful idiots when you can invent useful idiots to not only spread your propaganda, but also generate social proof to support your unsubstantiated claims, your unsubstantiated viewpoints, or your irrationally based belief system. And that is the danger of AI. They can use it to socially engineer whatever type of fucking situation they want with relative ease, because 80% of us are in the developed countries are stuck with our face in a device anyway. It's where we get our news, it's where we get our entertainment, etc., etc. And now if they can just force feed you some bullshit that you can't prove or disprove, but it looks real enough, well then fuck. Welcome to chains, welcome to slavery. Huh. John Edgar says, huh. I just realized that we could be seeing AI therapists sometime. I don't even know how to feel about that. I'll tell you right now, they'd probably be slightly more effective than regular therapists because the good ones you can't afford. You can't afford the good ones. Trust me. Trust me. Um, Vince Womack says there is a soundbite from Biden saying, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message. All right. Toxic Man Flu says, what if social media is already the AI taking over? Some of it could be. Let's be honest. If the social media if was run off of an AI, you could program it to have a specific viewpoint. Clay Thomas says, fuck it, I'm going Amish. I'm right behind you, bro. But if the AI is programmed with a specific opinion, let's say, um, hail to real Wade Nation gaming clips Gosh, I'm really bad at that. He says, "Hi, chat." Yeah. You gotta remember that you guys can retract messages from the YouTube chat, but it doesn't go away. Yeah, over here. Huh. One Man Show says it might be useful for an application like alternative casting in Hollyweird. Uh, just a what if X actor was in a role instead of Y actor. Um, I mean, it could be useful that way, and I could totally understand using it for something like that. Like, but again, you would state that this is a deep fake kind of thing, and et cetera, et cetera. The problem that I'm seeing with AI is if you train the AI to be able to communicate like a human being and make decisions like a human being, it's going to start behaving like a human being. And the problem with that is human beings, no offense to my fellow humans watching, kind of fucking suck in general. People suck. Person, we can go back to that, but just saying. Uh, but if they start behaving like people, the bots, the AI bot will create AI bots to support its AI generated stance and drown out other things. And of course, there's the automatic censorship that you could get out of something like that. That would be a very useful tool for politicians these days. But the real trouble there is yes, indeed. One Man Show on Rumble says people suck, hardly news. Indeed, not news at all. But the reality of like, something like I just posted on Gilded, and now we have to go back to Gilded and see what he did. Make sure you're joined in the Talks a Lot Town Square Gilded, especially in groups. Yes, sorry, Bob. Wow. See, and like these are AI generated images, but I like it. Burt Reynolds is Iron Man. Hell yeah. Schwarzenegger is Thor. That's obvious. Lou Ferrigno would be it was the Hulk. I mean, come on, that's awesome. Hawkeye is Alan Alda. Clint Eastwood is Nick Fury. I like that. And Robert Redford would have made a perfect Captain America back in the day. And that kind of stuff, like, as long as you have permission from them and you're paying them their dues, I don't see why you couldn't do something like that. But that's where the regulations need to come in because right now we have people that aren't even connected to these types of individuals creating artwork and stuff like that without the permission and they're getting away with it. And for me, that's a problem. Honestly, it's really bad. Clint Eastwood as Nick Fury, nice. Yes, I agree, John Edgar. That would have been bad ass. But I think that AI is incredibly dangerous. Let's say you have a jilted lover, all right, and uh, or an individual who wants to be with you but is really pissed off that you won't be with them and they want to break up your marriage. What do? They run an AI program to generate pictures of you fucking them to give to your wife, even though it never happened. And then you're fucked. Well, not, but you know what I mean. Crazy bitches with this technology would be extra, extra bad. Okay, you put this technology in the hands of a crazy bitch, and she's gonna be like, this is my baby's daddy. Look, here's him in the delivery room, and he's all like, I ain't never seen this bitch before. And then they have to go through DNA testing, but that's different. That's different. You couldn't AI deep fake some shit like that, but you could AI deep fake ultrasound. So you could, you know, possibly try to manipulate someone. There's a lot of problems with AI, and especially when it comes to the deep fakes. I'm just going to say this right now. Regulate the fuck out of it. I don't care. Regulate the fuck out of it. I think the FCC recently said that using AI deepfake robocalls in political campaigns is now illegal, according to their shit. And yeah, John Edgar says, I'm going to have nightmares about this. Men are already shafted in divorce courts. You're right, Corey. This would make it even worse. Yes, especially One Man Show on Rumble says eventually it is going to come down to did you see it live with your own eyes? Uh, Saint Musk will take care of that with his Neuralink, though. I know, and then we'll get that. What was that? Final Cut with Robin Williams, where they had the brain recorder thing in there. Yeah, that's going to be great. Who wants privacy? Nobody, because now I can watch Netflix in my brain. fuck. I'm personally going to stay analog. That's just how it's going to be. I will stay analog, and that's how it goes. Neuralink, yo, that is some scary shit. All right, now that I'm older and it actually exists, it's actually kind of scary. I'm not saying it's not useful and that it couldn't be used in very beneficial ways, but that Neuralink in today's society, what? E. Clay Thompson says, Thomason, I did it again. Gosh, that's why I put a watermark on my penis. That's fair. That's fair. Guaranteed 100% Thomason meat. Right on the forehead. Yep. And, you know, like, uh, think about the industries that are going to be destroyed by AI in the near future. All right. Voice acting, already on its way there. Um, Cartoons, porn, porn. Yep, yep, yep. One man show over on the Rumble side says that with every beneficial technology will eventually be put to nefarious uses. That's a given. I agree. I agree. And that's because that is the corruptible spirit of man. From the beginning of time, we've been an easily corruptible race when it comes to things. You know, we always were greedy, we're envious, we're you name it, we that's us. And it's been that way since the beginning of time. So people are going to continue to do this kind of shit. The problem now is how willing we are as a society to accept this kind of shit. Man, I got me some nude photo, AI generated photos of that damn there Taylor Swift chick. And oh man, I'm currently writing a song called Digital Hookers that speaks to things like that, but that's different. You know, Digital Hookers is like OnlyFans and now the new AI generated girlfriends. Think about that. Think about that. There are people who are going to divorce their significant other for an AI. Guaranteed. Probably already happened. There's a lady working on marrying a fucking AI hologram. Yeah, overseas. I think that was Sweden, maybe. They're fucking weird over there, but One Man Show says it's evil, sure, but it's so convenient. You're right. You're absolutely right. Convenience wins over morality every time. It's true. There are many things that went out over morality. Convenience just happens to be one of the biggest. Nah, mean, yeah. But that's because we're a lazy society. We've been a lazy society for a long time, you know? And it's getting really bad. Really bad. Yep. Now, one of the other issues that exists with AI, um, especially as a database, is that we're going to see a massive case of it's going to be similar to digital amnesia, where I don't have to remember anything since it's all on my phone. In my moment my phone is broken, I can't remember anything. And yes, that's a thing. Google it. And it's going to be very similar to that, but it's we're going to have incompetence on levels that we've never seen before because of the lack of actual education taking place with a lot of children these days, because they give into convenience, thus making them stupid, thus making them really, really hard to acculturate to a proper living situation, being adults and such, being mature. John Edgar says, half this stuff hadn't occurred to me until now. I'm good at thinking outside the box. Vince Womack says, how bad is the Mandela effect going to get? Really, really, really bad. One Man Show says children won't learn because Google is their friend. Indeed. Why do you need to know things when you can type it in and find it out? It It's ridiculous. And so is that dog barking off there. Fuck you, buddy. Is that my dog? I don't know if that's my dog or not. He shut up just as I took my headphone thing on. Yeah. Jerk. Gosh. I again don't know why I'm wearing these headphones. There's no sound coming through here whatsoever.
Take my pee-pee and treat it like a lollipop.
Yep. Yep. Vince Womack says, just look at college kids today. You're not wrong. They're pretty stupid. They're pretty. I mean, and I'm not going to call them completely intellectually stunted, but they certainly don't have an actual understanding of like research process, vetting information. They need to be able to think critically and be able to do follow-ups on specific pieces of information within the research. And they don't do that because they can just be like, Chat GPT, you write me an APA format paper about this. And then that's it. That's it. Vince Womack says, you have a dog barking, and I just had to check. My neighbors left their cat outside again. It's nearly 3 a.m. Wow, 3 a.m. That's got to be cold over there, too. So, yeah, the douchebags. Fucking assholes. If they're cold, if you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside. Goes for the trash pandas, too. JK. LOL. You know what? Since we're talking about the U.S. tonight, let's take a look at the smallest U.S. Navy vessel in service, shall we? You guys will get a kick out of this if you don't know it already. And yes, indeed, I second that, John Edgar. Thanks for staying up so late, Vince. You're awesome. One Man Show says, I've warned my nephews and nieces not to rely on Google or social media for information. Some called me a dinosaur. Well, when they need to know something that can't be Googled anymore and you know it, well, then that's just the way life is. But the smallest U.S. Navy vessel in service right now is called the Boom and Beaver. That's right. It was built by Chuck's Boat and Drive. It is the 19 BB Boom and Beaver, otherwise known as a barrier boat. And it is a tugboat. It's a tugboat. Tugboat, tugboat, tugboat. Look how cute that fucking tugboat is. Oh my gosh. Like, man, I would pilot this. If they were like, nah, you can't be a rib gunner, but you can drive the tugboat, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know? NSW rib gunner, fuck that. I'm gonna drive the Boomin' Beaver. Yeah. He says that beaver looks pretty stuffed. Thank you, Vince. Thank you. Jeez. He says it's not armed, though. Well, of course not. It's a tugboat. It's a barrier boat. It's meant to push bigger boats away from stuff and pull them closer to stuff. It's a tugboat, bro. Gosh. Could you imagine the guns you could put on that thing, though? I mean, honestly. Like, think about the guns you could put on that. I mean, you could probably mount, like, you could put a hammer system on that, now that I think about it, actually. For those of you who aren't aware of what a hammer system is, the hammer system is two AA-12s mounted on a either turret-driven or, depending on the settings that you're using, automatic fire settings. You put two AA-12 shotguns, which are the fully automatic ones, by the way, and then you can hook it up to a belt-fed system that's inside the hammer, so it'll belt feed it shotgun shells, 12-gauge shotgun shells, which comes in like a 16 to 24 different variety pack, by the way. You know, that's some fun shit. But then, like, it feeds it through, and it's two 12-gauge shotguns that are, and yeah, you could put that on the tugboat. That'd be fucking cool. D. Clay Thomas is the tugboat. Soon we'll be making another run. Yep. That is the most adorable fucking Navy vessel I've ever seen in my life. And I, as a man, am not ashamed to say that. That is fucking badass. It looks like a toy. It looks like a fucking toy. I mean, honestly, that is sick. He's too young, E. Clay Thomason. I'm assuming this was a reference to the Love Boat, but I have no idea. Or if the tugboat's the actual, I have no idea. None. Dude, I love this fucking tiny little tugboat. Boop, boop. Look at that. Look at that. It's like, you could do some hardcore infiltration missions with that shit. And he said, yup, that's the Love Boat. See? I think I've seen a couple episodes of the Love Boat because of my mother-in-law, but yeah, look at those tugboats next to the fucking the Boomin' Beaver. Yeah, that's a hella difference. Look at that. Jeez. Fucking Boomin' Beaver. There you are, ladies and gentlemen, the Boomin' Beaver. It's officially my favorite. Yeah. Yeah, Vince Womack. 3 men will fit in that beaver. You're not wrong, buddy. Yeah, buddy. John Edgar says AI will be misused by everything from teenage pranks to rogue states to spread chaos. Yes. And imagine how bad. Okay. I know I'm running down the worst case scenario black pill train here, but here's my last worst case scenario for you. Let's assume someone wants to start a race war. So they use AI to deep fake police beating and torturing 3 or 5 black people in a sub basement of a major metropolitan police department. Okay. They deep fake it and they spread it across everywhere. Okay. Realistic as fuck. What do you think is going to happen? It'll be the summer of love all over again. I guarantee it. I mean, think about the ramifications of an AI deepfake being used to cause a direct social upheaval. Vince Womack says, oh my God, Rodney King was deepfaked. No. But imagine if the next Rodney King was deepfaked. You heard it here first. I mean, think about that. What if they deepfaked the next Rodney King? Or they deepfaked a terrorist attack? Or they deepfaked insert catastrophic nightmare? You know, one man show says, and fake news becomes deep fake news if it hasn't already. Well, they tried with the Ukraine war stuff. They tried deep faking that, but now they have the actual processing ability to be able to deep fake an entire war or an entire like political event. Like here's we now cut to a newly obtained video of Donald Trump raping a puppy. You know, like I don't mean to be crude, but let's be honest, that's the kind of stupid shit people would go out with. They would. Vince Womack says they don't need to deepfake police attacking people. They do that on their own. Not at the right times, though. It's not always easily implementable if that's your plan. John Edgar says employers could deepfake videos of their employees doing something inappropriate to justify firing people they don't like. I can say so. I can so see that. Yes. Um, you're not wrong there. Um, there's a lot of places in the United States, luckily, that are just at will states, and they're done. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fantastic discussion about AI, the need for regulation, and the many ways that it could possibly be used wrong. But make sure you join me in about an hour's time over on Monday Meltdown. They'll be talking about Dune once we get through the first hour-long intro that we do. It'll be fantastic. It'll be great. Make sure you're subscribed here on Talks a Lot Entertainment for more awesome content like this. Make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, and make sure you join us on Thursday for Dix News International. I have a lot of crazy shit that's happened overseas. Oh my. One Man Show says more Dune. Well, that's the big thing. He also says that we had a fantastic discussion. Yes. And thank you all for that. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, stay sexy, don't get murdered, and as always, have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.